group of environmentalists has raised concern over Shell's planned offshore search for oil. Now, Shell docked a seismic survey ship at the Cape Town harbour yesterday, this in preparation for oil exploration of the Garden Route coastline. For more on this, we're joined now by Liz McDade, strategic lead at the Green Connection. Ms. McDade, thank you very much for making the time to talk to us. So let me just explain what I have read, and you will tell me what the likely impact of this is going to be. And so how this is going to unfold is that this vessel that has docked in Cape Town is going to shoot seismic waves down on the ocean floor, and this is their effort to try and detect if there are any oil reserves. What is this likely to do to sea life?
So, how's that, Ollie, and to everybody watching? So I think the concern is that this is the start of oil and gas exploration. So this is trying to use sound waves to figure out if there's oil and gas below the seabed. Unfortunately, these sound waves also have an impact on marine life. And the impact could certainly lead to some marine resources and marine life that is now impacted, and that includes the livelihoods of the thousands of people along the coast. So what we need is an ocean that we can manage sustainably. But I think the bigger question here is, why is Shell looking for more oil and gas? We all know that we're in a climate crisis. So we need to look back and take a step back and say, at the bigger picture, why are we still pursuing oil and gas offshore?
Yeah.
We need to stop that. And I think international studies are saying, like, we don't need to do any more prospecting. We've got enough, and we need to transition away. So our call is, A, to the government of South Africa to say, please intervene, and secondly, to Shell, acknowledge there's a climate crisis and do the right thing.
Yeah. And we're going to come back to this question about why is it that Shell is looking for more oil in the midst of what has been seen as a climate crisis that is beginning to take hold. But I'm still quite keen to hear your explanation, Liz, as to the noise, this large noise that is going to be created by this shooting of seismic waves down on the floor of the ocean. The animals that are going to be impacted down there, what is that going to do? And if you could try couple that with the interruption it might have on those who rely on fishing, for example, as a way of life.
Yeah, so what we have to look at is, if there are animals in very close proximity to the air guns, then the noise is likely to have could be a very harmful impact, like actually dying. That would be more like plankton, which are the basis of the food chain. If it's the other aspect is that it can drive fish away because they try and avoid the area. If it's close to a breeding area, and we must remember Shell's on the Wild Coast, there's another proposal for off Jeffreys Bay. And so if it's a marine protected area that they're going near, then that is an area which is supposed to be protected from all harmful activities to allow the fish to recover.
Yeah.
And then you have another aspect, which is migration routes. And there are two animals or two different species that we are concerned about. Is whale migrations, which come down the coast and then return, and then baby turtles. And these are animals that are endangered. So if those baby turtles, which are sweeping down with the current, and we believe they won't be able to really get out of the way, unlike a larger dolphin or seal who can swim out when they hear the noise in the distance. So these are the impacts that we are concerned about. And obviously, if the fish move, then people won't be able to catch them as well. So although the survey is not happening right on the coast. It's happening
and you can see us as well.
Offshore, but it does come close in some of their sweeps.
Okay.
And our concern is that the ocean itself is all connected. And again, it comes down to why would we endanger our marine life and our livelihoods if there's no need for it?
And Liz, of course, the important question here is what probably the viewers are listening out for, and that is to say, if this ship has been allowed to dock in Cape Town, it means that there has been a tacit approval of this exploration by Shell through our government. Is that indeed a fact, that government has approved for this to happen? And the important question, why?
Yes, and that's so due to what we believe is sort of a loophole in the way the law has evolved, is this permit is from 2013, and in 2014 the environmental law changed, and so if they had arrived with a new application, they would have had to go through an environmental authorization. But because they are 7-8 years old, they are now able to get through without it. And it's the Minister of Energy who has the power to intervene, because it's under the Minister of Energy. The Department of Environment have actually released a statement saying that they actually can't do anything because the law only changed after these guys got their permits.
Sure.
Our question is, why can nobody do anything, given we've had the Paris Agreement? 7 years. If you think back 7 years, a lot has happened. We've also maybe got a bit more scientific evidence, and we know a little bit more about the impact on wildlife. So why are we not stopping these kinds of activities? So it's really now what we are saying. It's an appeal to the minister and to Shell. Do the right thing.
If the retort from government is that we allowed for this because, as you will know, our economy is in the doldrums, and what is important here is the national economic imperatives, what's your response going to be?
Well, my response is what should be the most important thing is the livelihoods of people. And why would you undermine those people who today have the ability to feed their families for some potential future oil and gas future, which will undermine those livelihoods and potentially leave more people desperate and without food security? And who will get the profits of such exploration activities? It will not be South Africans on the coast, I'm pretty sure.
Liz McDade, she is the strategic lead at the Green Connection, and she is a part of a group of environmentalists who are opposed to this exploration by international company Shell. That's where we're going to leave that conversation.